the difference between what a college graduate makes and a non-college graduate makes, that's a reasonable loan amount, and they should make that up over their lifetime. Your children will be less burdened with student loans, excuse me, than they will with you showing up their house when you turn 65 and saying, you know how I spent my retirement money on your college? Well, I don't have any money and I'm gonna live in your basement. And that might seem like a fun idea at first because you're like, I'm gonna eat all your food and throw my clothes everywhere. But the fact is, you're not gonna like it, they're not gonna like it, nobody's gonna be happy, right? Your children will be less burdened if you can take care of yourself financially. So make sure you're taking care of this first. Then, if there's money left over, you work on your college plan. And for there's a couple of different ways to do this. Most people will use what's called a 529 plan. And we won't get too much into that today. But there's a great website called savingforcollege.com. And that's a great resource. When I was in the industry, I mean, advisors would go to that site to get information. It's really a great site. So let's talk about retirement, okay? When you get out of school, you're gonna get hopefully a great job with good benefits. And one of those benefits is they're gonna offer some sort of employee-sponsored retirement plan. For most people, this is gonna be a 401k, maybe a 403b. If you work for a nonprofit. There's some other numbers out there, 401a, 457, doesn't really matter the numbers. Whatever they offer you, they're gonna say, do you want to enroll in this? And there's only one answer that is humanly acceptable, and that answer is yes, yes, yes. How much can I contribute? When can I start? I want you excited about saving money for retirement because a few different reasons. First and foremost, you're leaving money on the table. Most companies will match, right? So, basically your company's coming to you and saying, we'd like to give you a 3% raise. Do you want it? What's the answer to that question? Yes! Yes, well, you're gonna have to put 3% in. And then people are like, I don't wanna put 3% out of my paycheck. Doesn't matter. You take their money. It's deferred compensation. You take it. Yes, absolutely. You always take money when your company wants to give it to you, right? People tell me, well, I can't afford to save. And the answer is, you can't afford to wait, right? And there's a few truths that we have to realize. Back in the day, if you went to a retirement planner's office, the retirement planner would talk to you about, like, retirement is like a stool. And the question is, what's the minimum amount of legs do you need to hold up a stool? You all know? 3, right? We've all seen those old, milkmaid, we were talking about milking cows earlier. An old milkmaid's stool, right? And so, there are 3 legs. There's your pension. There's Social Security. And there's your personal savings. Okay. Anyone know what a pension is? Yeah. It's like a unicorn. That's what they are. What were you going to say, sir?
No, pensions when they compensate you for all the years you work.
Yeah, basically they used to make an agreement. You work with us for so many years, we'll continue to pay you into retirement, right? They just don't exist anymore. They sometimes exist. You hear about teacher pensions, police pensions, those kind of pensions, but to be honest, you're putting into those pensions because those people don't pay into Social Security. The company just giving you money, it's railroad workers like military, that's about it, right? They're not out there. We needed at least 3 legs, and now we're already down to 2. That's not good, right? You could probably sit on it, but your leg is going to hurt because you're going to have to be balancing and all that stuff. What's going to happen with Social Security? Anybody know? I don't know. A lot of talk about Social Security. So we won't raise Social Security, but we'll make it wobbly there. It's not fully attached. Fact is, we are going to have to be in control of our own savings. We're going to have to get rid of the 3-legged stool, and we're going to have to sit on a tree stump of personal savings. What's the best way to do personal savings? It's through your employee-sponsored retirement plans. You got to sign up for them. Contribute at least up to what they match, right? If they match 6%, contribute 6%. If they can contribute 3%, I would say go above, at least up to 6% if you can, right? But at least 3 at that point. Whatever they're contributing, you want to match to. Yes, ma'am?
Okay, so what if they already have money when you sign up for everything and they tell you they're going to give you benefits, they automatically take it out?
That they don't give you a choice to do the 401k, is that what you mean?
No, we have TRS.
TRS, well, okay, that's like the teacher pension, right? So that's that defined contribution plan that I'm talking about with deferred comp. That's something a little bit different.
And they automatically take out 10%.
Right.
Check.
Right, and that's awesome. That's good. That kind of takes the place of these. You might be able to open up a 403b in addition to that, but your TRS operates more like a pension, but you're contributing to it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's probably, it may even be a 457 plan. I'd have to look at the documents. But that's awesome, that's wonderful. But if you're an elective where you get to choose at least up to what they match, okay? All right. Now, what are you going to invest in? That's a big question. What's going to happen is you're going to get a book. They're going to come in and say, it's time to sign up for your plan. Here's all the options. Have that back to me by the end of the day. And they can't really advise you on what to do. You're going to open it up and you're going to be like, there's like 50 sheets of paper in here. What am I supposed to invest in? I can't really tell you what to invest in per se. First off, I don't know what your options are, but I can almost guarantee you that your options are going to be a mutual fund. And that's okay, that's a good thing. Basically the way a mutual fund works is you have let's say we all decided to form an investment club, right? We're all going to get together, we're all going to pitch in $1,000, and that'll give us, what, $6,000, and then we're going to go invest our $6,000. What should we invest in? I don't know, you don't know. Let's go hire a stockbroker. That's their job to know, right? But they're going to take a commission, that's okay, but we'll pay them. And then everyone, once we get our proceeds, we all share it equally. Or let's say I put in $2,000. I get 2 shares. You put in $3,000, you get 3 shares. Someone only put in $500, they get a half share, right? But it's equal, it's proportionate. At its most basic level, that's what a mutual fund does, except we're talking about tens of thousands of people and hundreds of millions of dollars all being grouped together, and you get your little share. And they're out there investing, okay? The thing that this does, first and foremost, is it diversifies our money and it keeps us pretty safe. It lowers our risk because they're kind of spreading the money out, right? I know here in Houston, we hear a lot about how people at Enron lost their retirement. And it wasn't because Enron went out of business. Your retirements are safe. Your 401ks are kept at a brokerage house. They're insured. The problem was all the people at Enron invested all their money into Enron stock. They picked one basket, if you will, to put all their eggs in. If you would put all your money into an S&P 500 index fund, you're investing in 500 different companies, 500 of the larger companies in the United States. And it would require all 500 of those companies, for you to lose all your money, it would require all 500 of those companies to go out of business, probably within about a week of each other. And if that happens, it doesn't matter. Money's worthless because it's going to be like the road warrior. We're going to be trading spices. America has collapsed if that happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay? It's a pretty safe investment. A mutual fund is a pretty safe investment. Obviously, there's no guarantees. There is no investing without risk. Even burying your money in the backyard carries risk, right? Not only does it carry the risk of someone digging it up, but it carries the risk of inflation, right? Inflation rises at about 2%. You put it in the bank, you're earning 0.5%. You're losing purchasing power over time. There's always, always, always risk with anything that you're doing with your money. What you want to try and do is manage the risk, right? So if we think about a risk box, I'm running out of room here. You have risk, and you have reward. So down here in this quadrant, you have low risk, but you have low reward. This would be something like investing in bond funds or investing in a money market account, something like that, right? And so you're pretty safe down here. If you're in this quadrant, you have very low risk and high reward. This would be awesome, right? This is where everybody would want to be, but there's not a lot up here, because if you could get a lot of return without much risk, that's where everybody would have their money, right? Down here you have high risk, low reward. Well, nobody wants to be in that, right? That's horrible. And then up here you have high risk, high reward, which some people like, right? I mean, there's a lot of money to be made up here, but there's also a big chance of you losing your money. And that's really for people who can afford to lose some money, right? Vested, like venture capitalists, big time investment people. Most of us, we can't take that risk. So most people are just really, to be honest, kind of trying to shoot for the middle. And that's, I would say, a pretty safe bet, where a mutual fund's going to put you, okay? Now there are some mutual funds that can drift this way, there's some that can drift that way, but for the most part, they kind of plot out in the middle. And so that's why a lot of companies use mutual funds when it comes time for you to choose your investments into a retirement plan. Does that make sense? Okay. There are a few rules that usually come along with employee-sponsored retirement plans. Now, bear in mind, every plan is different, right? Each company sets up their plan documents, their rules. There are some rules that the government issues. Generally, you're going to be putting your money in tax deferred, which means you won't pay taxes on it. You won't pay taxes on the growth until you take the money out, which that lets it grow a little bit faster. Okay, so that's a good thing. The IRS wants you to save for retirement, right? So they incentivize you to save for retirement by giving you this tax break. Basically, this is a tax shelter. They will also punish you if you refuse to be incentivized. So you can't take the money out before you turn age 59 and a half. If you do, a couple of things are going to happen. First, you're going to pay taxes on it, right? Which is fine. The money's never been taxed. That's fair. Most people are like a 25% tax bracket, at least currently, right? We don't know what's about to happen with the tax brackets. On top of that, you'll pay an early distribution penalty of 10%. So if you switch jobs and they're saying, what do you want to do with your 401k? The answer is not take it out. Even if you say, well, I've got $25,000 sitting there. I got $25,000. I'm drowning in credit card debt. I got $25,000. I'll use that money to pay it off. It's probably not going to work out for you because you're going to lose about 35% of your money, right? And that's a punishment, big time. The other thing is you're missing out on all future earnings of that money. That $25,000 keeps growing, right? It could turn into a couple $100,000. And so you're missing out on that future money of a couple $100,000. The other thing to know about employee-sponsored retirement plans is you probably can't take the money out until you separate from service. There has to be something called a distributable event. You quit, you transfer to another company, not internally, you retire, you die. We don't want to talk about that one. Something like that. If you do move, you do have some options though what to do with your money. And that leads us into a conversation about an IRA, all right? Which is the other long-term retirement plan that's going to impact most people. And there are a couple of different types of IRAs, right? There's a traditional, there's a Roth, and there's a rollover. Okay? So, an IRA is something that you set up, an individual retirement account, individually. Now, you do have to be working. If your spouse is working, you can do a spousal IRA. You do have to be working. You can contribute up to $5,500 a year, currently, into an IRA. A traditional IRA works pretty much like the 401k in that it's tax deferred. So, now you pay taxes on your money when you get your paycheck, right? They do withholding. So, if you make your contribution to a traditional IRA, you get to take it. A deduction on your taxes. Okay, so a lot of people use that for tax deduction. And then you'll pay taxes on it once you retire, plus the earnings. A Roth IRA is something pretty cool. A Roth IRA does not let you take that tax deduction come tax time. this money's gonna go in post-tax, right? So you're gonna pay the taxes on it now. But you are, brace yourselves, because this is exciting. All right, it's like Disney World here. We're about to take a big drop down the roller coaster. You get to take the money out tax-free. Your earnings are tax-free. I know, mind blown, right? When do we ever get tax-free money in the United States? Hardly ever. Now, some people still do traditional IRAs because they need that tax break. Some people do the traditional IRA because there is a tipping point in your age, and you'll need a financial planner to really talk you through that. There's usually a tipping point in your age where it's more beneficial to be in a traditional than a Roth, but Roth IRAs are awesome. The third category is the rollover IRA. A rollover IRA is not subject to the $5,500. This actually is strictly for taking money from 401ks and 403bs and 457s and all that stuff, or money from other IRAs and rolling it over somewhere else. It's a holding account for those accounts. And at that point, it still acts like the same. It'll still be the tax deferred and all that stuff.